Can you guys all see this book right now?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So today, we are going to be reading a story called Sweet Dream Pie. Have you guys ever heard of this story before?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen this cover in the library or anything like that? No? Well, it is a wonderful story, and it is one of my favorites. I read it when I was back in 3rd grade, in 4th grade, and probably in 5th grade, and I love to read it still today. So, before we start, we are going to be looking at some words from our story. You guys have been going over a lot of vocabulary words, I know, in your other stories with Miss Will, and so I have some more for you guys. Can you guys see the words?
Yeah.
You guys stand right here. Okay, so can anyone raise their hand and tell me, have you ever seen any of these words before? Liam, have you seen one? You've seen world before, and what does that, do you know what it means? Yes, it means you go in a circle very quickly. Jamal, have you ever heard any of these words?
Blissful.
You've heard blissful? That's one of my favorite words. What's blissful mean, do you think? Yeah. Were you guys looking at this before? No? Okay, good. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to go over these words together. Charlie, I'll get to your question in a second. We're going to go over these words together, and I have what they mean under these flaps so you guys don't cheat to look at them. And then we're going to do something else with the words, okay? So our first word that you will see in our story, somewhere in the story, is glistened. Can you guys all say glistened?
Glisten.
And when you hear the word glisten, what do you think about in your mind?
Sparkling.
Sparkling? That's exactly what it is. You guys are so smart. I should have had harder words. It does mean it's sparkly or shiny. So when I think about the word glisten, I might think about after the storm, the ocean glistened. So it was nice and shiny and it was sparkling. It looked like it was sparkling. Or it glistened. It glistened after the storm. The next word is whirl that Liam told us about. Yes, and it's when you're moving in a circle quickly. So when I think about or visualize the word whirl, I think of a dancer. She whirled around in circles, and her dress was very, like, going in circles, and it was like, woo, all around. Okay, our next word is ooze. Have you guys heard the word ooze before?
No.
Yeah,
Tornado?
maybe. But ooze is if you have too much of something in a container, or maybe something else. Yes, it's spilling over, and it's going over something. Yes, erupting almost. Well, not really like erupting, because that's very, like if a volcano erupts. But maybe the lava from the volcano, it oozed out. So it was just overflowing a little bit. So that's what ooze means, overflowing a little bit. And when you guys go into high school, you'll be taking chemistry classes, biology classes.
And sometimes when you do things in bottles, it just overflows.
Exactly. If you don't do the experiment correctly, your experiment might ooze. Like the things might come over the edge.
Or like smoke or
smoke or anything
or
like
like
that
in
too.
some of those cities they have those dams, and sometimes they break and then water just flows.
Yeah, that's an example too. Our next word, do you guys know this word? Where are you guys looking at this? Okay, whoa. Oh, you can see it? Wow.
Next time you better.
Okay, well, we'll pretend that you don't know. But we will see the word crimped in the book. And I'm sure you guys don't know the word in the book yet, but we're going to read and find out. But you guys are right. It means when you're putting things in small folds. So when we talk about the title of our book, Sweet Dream Pie, what do you think might be going into small folds? You have any examples? Yeah, maybe. And our last word is blissful.
Full of happiness.
Yes, and when you guys picture the word blissful in your mind, what do you think about? And you guys raise your hand so I know who to call on. Charlie? If you think of a blissful moment, what comes to your mind?
When your face becomes one
Oh, yeah, that was a very blissful moment. Avi, do you have an example? What comes to your mind when you think of blissful?
When my parents found Chalky.
Oh, that's your cat? Oh, that's very good. Jamal?
When you fall in love.
Oh, yes, that's very nice. Okay, so before we get into reading our story, when I was asking you guys what the words were, when I was asking you what you were picturing in your head when you thought of the word, you were doing something called visualizing. Have you guys, Javion, can you not talk please to Dylan? You guys will have plenty of time to talk, I promise you. But have you guys ever heard the word visualizing when you're reading?
Yes.
You have?
Sometimes
Or maybe
the
not?
librarian
Give me a thumbs up if you've heard of the word visualizing when you read. Maybe this year or last year or in first grade or anything like that. Or you can give me a thumbs down or thumb in the middle if you're like, oh, maybe. Thumbs up for the most part in the middle. Okay, well, visualizing happens when you are picturing something in your head. So I'm going to give you an example, and I want you guys all to close your eyes, and you're going to visualize this in your head. Okay, it's a hot and sunny day in July, and you're holding an ice cream cone in your hand, but it's melting all over the ground. Oh, I can just hear the sounds. Okay, who can give me a thumbs up? And you guys have to have your thumb up for me to call on you. And who can share with me your visualization that you made? Tyler?
My ice cream melts.
Yeah, and what kind of ice cream do you have? Do you have a certain kind of ice cream?
With chocolate vanilla.
Oh, yummy. Okay, one more. Jacob? Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, well that's perfect. You guys understand visualizing. So how you created? Zeke, I promise you have a lot of time to talk in a second, okay? When you guys were visualizing in your head, the first thing you were doing was listening to me, right? And listening to what I was saying. And then, based on what I was saying, you were picturing something in your mind, right? About the ice cream cone and it melting on the ground and things like that. So, when we are reading our story, Sweet Dream Pie, every once in a while, I'm going to be asking you guys to make a visualization, so a picture in your head about what you might think was going to happen. And how I will do that is I will read some parts of the story and not let you see the picture so you can create your own picture. And then we will look at the story and you can see if your picture in your head is similar to the picture in the book. Are you all ready?
Yes.
But before we start reading, who can tell me what do you do when someone is reading to you?
We listen and be quiet.
Yes, you listen and you be quiet. And Avi's doing a very good example. If you have a question or a comment, I want you guys to stick your thumbs up, and I will try to call on you after I read the story. Yeah, but sometimes I'll be showing you the pictures too, so remember to open your eyes too a few times, okay? Okay, so the first few pages I'm going to read to you guys, and I'm going to tell you what I'm visualizing in my head. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, this book is really exciting, so are you ready to read this story?
Yes.
Okay, it's called Sweet Dream Pie. Okay. So I'm going to first read the first 2 pages to you without showing you the pictures. Okay, and you guys can make your own visualizations if you want to in your head when I am. It was almost dawn on Willoughby Street when Pa Brindle lit the lantern and led Ma Brindle up to their dark attic, to an old trunk draped in cobwebs. I haven't slept a wink tonight, Pa said. I've been craving a piece of sweet dream pie, just like the one you made me long ago. The last time I made that pie, you ate too much, Ma grumbled, and your dreams weren't sweet. So when I read this part to myself, I think about a dark place up in the attic. You guys know what an attic is?
Yes.
The top of your house. I think of a dark attic,
My mom.
and Ma and Pa, so that's Grandpa and Grandpa, but they just go by Ma and Pa, are walking up the stairs with a lantern. But it's very dark, and the lantern is not that bright. And they get to the attic, and they open the door, and there's this huge, like almost the size of this classroom, there's this big chest with cobwebs on it. And as they open, they haven't opened it yet, but Pa wants the big sweet dream pie, right? And he thinks that he will have the best dreams if he has it again, but what did Ma say? She said, no, you won't have good dreams. So I just picture them talking, and Pa saying, please, 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 I want some pie. But Ma saying, no, you won't have good dreams. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to read you this page, and I want you guys to really listen and try to visualize what I'm reading in your head. Okay, you guys ready? Okay. Pa Brindle blew the cobwebs off the trunk, then threw it open, and all the cats in the neighborhood opened one eye. An enormous mixing bowl, a great rolling pin, a gigantic pie pan, and a small brass bell glistened in the lantern light. It will be good this time, Pa promised. One big piece of sweet dream pie, that's all I want. Well then, I'll make it, and you help, Ma agreed. But if things get out of hand, don't blame me. Okay, before I ask you guys about what you visualize in your head, did you hear any of our vocabulary words? Aubrey?
Yes, glistened.
Glisten, yes, and do you remember what glisten means? Yes, so here it's talking about a gigantic pie pan and a small brass bell glistened in the lantern light. So can you guys picture in your head the bell that looks like it's shining because the light is shining on it? Okay, who can give me a thumbs up and tell me that they had a visualization in their head? Hey Sean, did you have it? Javion, did you have one? What were you picturing in your head when I was reading it? Yeah? Anything else? Tyler, do you want to add to it?
You want to make a big sweet dream pie?
Mm-hmm. Did you think about anything in your picture anything in your head about that? What did you picture about the pie?
Like it's gonna be has frosting on it.
Oh, we will see as the book goes on. Say one more.
A White House, the cats all over it.
Mm-hmm.
Big cats, they all have one eye.
Well, you remember we have to. What I'm going to read to is what you're going to visualize in your head. So did I say anything about those with the one-eye cats? That's very creative, though. Oh, one eye open. Oh, yes, I did. You're right. That's very creative. I like that. Okay, well, here's the picture. Here are the cats, like they were telling us, with the one eye and it being open. And here's Ma and Pa opening up the chest with all of the tools to make the pie. Okay, we're moving on to the next page. The Brindles carried the extra large utensils down to the kitchen and began to make the pie. When the dough was ready, Ma rolled it out on the table, and when she did, all the people on Willoughby Street, including little Amy McPherson, rolled out of their beds and onto their floors. So once you got all of these things out, everyone was rolling on the floor because they were so big.
When
When you started rolling the dough. Exactly. Okay, this is one of my favorite parts. And you guys, I'm sure, will have so many pictures in your head about this part. Okay, you ready? Next, Ma fashioned 2 great pie crusts. Then the Brindles began to toss every sweet thing they could find into the enormous mixing bowl. Gumdrops flew through the air and rained down with marshmallows. Candy corn, cinnamon hearts, chewing gum, chocolate drops, butterscotch, licorice sticks, lollipops, sugar cubes, jelly beans, candy sprinkles, cookies, anything you can think of, and more. So I want to hear what you guys thought was going into the pot, Lily.
All kinds of candies.
Like what types of candies?
Candy corn. Candy apples.
Wow. Haley, can you tell me what was going into your mixing bowl?
A bunch of colorful little tiny candies.
Oh, wow. Like what kind of candies? Be really specific. They were really specific. Jacob, do you want to help her out?
Them throwing all the stuff in like spider cans.
Oh, that's good. Okay, well here's their big mixing bowl.
Oh,
You're gonna have to sit down because they can't see behind you. It's a big mixing bowl.
It looks like that is just a bunch of
They look like a big mixing bowl with so many candies inside of it. So what you pictured in your head was similar to what they had too. You had a big bowl with all these different kinds of candies in it. Okay, let's see what's going to happen next. Clouds of powdered sugar drifted out the windows into the street. A chocolate tornado sprang up and whirled out the door, knocking Johnny Lunds, who was trying to deliver newspapers, off his bicycle. Okay, did one of our words come up in this, Sydney?
World.
Yes, and do you remember what world means? Try to picture in your head world. What comes to your mind when you picture world? Remember the dancer I used at the beginning? What was she doing? Yes, she was going in circles. So here on our example, what was going in circles? Say, Sean?
Chocolate tomato.
Yes, a chocolate tornado was whirling out the door.
Ooh, that was delicious.
Yes, it does look very delicious. So it whirled out the door. It's going in circles. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Next page. The enormous mixing bowl began to glow. A thick, sweet syrup bubbled up and oozed down the sides. The brindles poured the filling into the giant pie pan, then wrestled the top crust into place. Ma crimped the edges and Pa poked the steam holes. The crust began to move, as if things inside were trying to get out. Pa shoved the pie into the oven and slammed the door. Quickly, he turned the oven dial past bake, broil, and roast to a setting that simply said, simple. So, who can tell me, what do you picture in your mind when I'm reading to you? The syrup bubbled up and oozed down the sides, and the brindles poured the filling into the giant pie pan. Liam, in a second.
I imagine a big pie with like holes in it.
Yes.
And like.
How big was the pie? Pretty big? Like as big as the room?
Like as big as the table.
Oh, as big as the table.
Like
And who can tell me what word did we come across? Tara. Ooze, yes. And what does ooze mean? Do you remember? Overflowing. And why was the pie, why did it ooze out? What was oozing out of the pie?
Because candy.
Yes, all those candies that they threw in there. There was too much stuff in it, so it oozed over the edges. And when it oozed over, how do you think the floor was looking?
Sticky.
Yes, very, very dirty and sticky. And here's their big pie.
Oh my God. Smelling like
Yeah, everything was
Smelling
oozed
like
over.
candy.
They had all different types of candy, so there's all
Is that
different
a pair
colors.
of glasses or a lava?
Where do you see it? Right here?
Yes.
I don't know. I think maybe it might be blueberry or some kind of candy that's blue.
But is that a pair of
Okay.
glasses?
We
Because I'm
continue
thinking
to
they were
read.
like
And
glasses in their
we had one more book here too. We had one more vocab word as well. Do you guys remember the word?
room.
Yes, Charlie. And what does crimped mean again?
They kind of put the edge of the pie crust in small folds.
Yes, and Ma was doing that, right? So do you guys see here at the picture, she crimped the edges of the pie. So maybe for Thanksgiving, if you guys help make a pie, you will crimp the edges so whatever it is in your pie won't fall out of the pie when it's baking, because you don't want that to happen.
Big pie.
Yes, it is a really big pie.
It's big like.
Okay, we're gonna find out what happens to the pie. As the sun rose, the oven warmed, and a heat wave hit Willoughby Street. It was too hot to go to work or school, so everyone stayed home, doing cool things. Even Mary Chubb, who had never missed a day at the library in 15 years, lounged beneath her sunflower. By noon, the delicious smell of Ma Brindle's sweet dream pie blanketed the neighborhood with a blissful aroma. Everyone was simply drooling to taste that pie. Even baby Robbie stuck out his tongue, thinking he could lift the sweetness from the air. The heat wave raged on into the afternoon. It was so hot all the air conditioners stopped working. No one was cool except for Perry Arbuckle, who filled the tub in his conservatory with ice cubes and sat in it. So, when I was reading that, what comes to your mind when the pie was cooking? How do you think of what's in your mind when you picture that? Give me a thumbs up if you had something in your mind that you're picturing. Glenna?
That people had too many sunburns and the little baby, he was crying over the heat.
It was very hot, yes. But even the little baby, do you remember Robbie, what he was doing?
Kind of looked the sweet sauce.
Yeah, he was excited for the pie, so he was even sticking his tongue out.
And
Zeke, do you have a picture in your head?
I'm picturing the house is catching on fire because it's so hot.
Oh, wow. How about you, Charlie? One more.
I imagine a bunch of people in tank tops and
Yeah.
everywhere on their arms and
They're
they're
sweating,
wearing
it's so hot.
shorts and they're just all red and pink.
And before I show you the picture, what word popped up that we know? Did anyone catch it?
Oh,
Hey, Sean? Blissful, yes. And what was it talking about? What was blissful in the story? Do you remember? Yeah, that's what it means. But do you remember what was blissful when I read? It's a little tricky word. Do you remember when I read blissful aroma? Do you guys know what the word aroma means?
Yes. Smell.
The smell, yes. So it was a blissful smell. So it was a really happy smell. The smell of the pie was really, really nice. So here are the people, and here's the heat wave. So everyone is so hot. People have to sit down, and they're in their tubs of ice and in the bathtub. I know, right? Okay. So we're going to move on. You ready for the next page?
Yes.
Okay. As the sun set. Okay, everyone give me a thumbs up if you are ready for the next page. Ready? Okay. I like to see that. Lily, are you ready for the next page? Okay, scoot a little bit over so you can see the picture where I show you it. Okay. As the sun set, the sweet dream pie browned and the sky burned a fiery red above Willoughby Street. It was too hot to eat much, so everyone just picked at dinner and thought about the pie cooking in Ma's kitchen. So do you guys think they're still really, really hot? Yeah, when I read this, I just picture a red sky, and you know when it's really hot in the summertime and you really can't eat, you're just picking at your food? I just picture myself just doing that when I read this
Me and my mom
page.
just go back to the store.
Yeah. Abby, what were you saying?
See how it's a little shaky?
Oh, yeah. And
If you turn the page,
outside,
you got
yes.
the Kathy carrying that pie.
I know. Okay, I want you guys to try to picture in your mind what I'm reading. You ready? That evening, all the neighbors found an excuse to stop by the Brindles' house. Pa set up tables and colored lights outside and invited everyone to stay and share his special dessert. They all were thrilled, except little Amy McPherson. Amy could eat no pie because it made her sneeze. The dogs jumped up and began to chase their tails. Ma Brindle rang the small brass bell. It's time for sweet dream pie, she called. Pa Brindle and the Johnny Lunds carried the pie out and set it down. Okay, who can give me a thumbs up and tell me a picture that they have in their minds? Javion? Tyler, do you need some water? You want some water? Javion, do you have a picture in your head? What were you picturing when I was reading? Oh, that's a really good one. So you're picturing a really big pie and the little girl Amy sneezing over there in the corner. And also the dogs. What were they doing? Did you say in your head? They're chasing their tails and really, really excited, right? That's what it sounded like. Okay, here's a big pie. Look how big that pie is.
Whoa.
Were you guys picturing that big of a pie in your head?
No.
Were you talking about sweet dream pie?
Then they
You're thinking even bigger? Yeah, it's really big. Okay, we'll see how people like it. Are you guys all ready to keep reading? Steam rose up from the pie, and a thick fog settled over the neighborhood. Standing side by side, the Brindles blew upon the pie to cool it. A welcome breeze sprang up, whirling napkins and party plates into the air and clearing the fog. For the first time in 13 hours, Willoughby Street cooled down. Ma cut the pie as the neighbors lined up. They're starting to cut the pie. How do you guys picture in your head what the pie will look like? Give me a thumbs up if you can tell me. What do you think the pie is going to look like when they cut it? Liam.
It's gonna be a rough thing, like all the stuff on out.
You think it won't be staying together for each piece? Maybe. Lily?
I think it's gonna
Oh, just like Liam. That's what Liam thought too. How about you, Charlie?
I imagine like a bunch of mushy rainbow stuff in between the crust.
That's what I was picturing too. So there are so many things in there. It's probably like a rainbow. Okay, we'll keep reading, and then you guys can tell me after this page what you're picturing. Oh, I didn't show you the picture. You're right. Here's the party of all the people in the neighborhood. Well, I can show you it for some more detail too. Okay, here we go to the next page. Now be careful, she warned. This pie is very rich. One piece is all you need. No one had ever tasted anything like Ma Brindle's sweet dream pie. It was so sweet, happy tears just rolled down everyone's cheeks. Don't eat too much, Ma kept saying. Only one piece or you will be sorry. But no one listened. They all helped themselves to sweet thirds and fourths. Pa Brindle broke his promise. He gobbled down sweet sixths and even sevenths. Poor Inky King ate so much he looked as if he had swallowed a bowling ball. Have you guys gotten into fractions yet with math?
We did. You do that.
Maybe fourth grade and fifth grade. Oh, really? Maybe later this year you will learn. But you will learn about thirds and fourths and fifths and sixths. And then later on you can say, oh, we read about that in the sweet dream pie. So here are the pie pieces that you were telling me about. It looks pretty like a rainbow, but do you see any of the pies oozing? Not really. They're all kind of stuck together and really nicely. And what's this called again? What she did to the edges? Yes, crimped. She crimped the edges, so that's how it turned out, because she was making little folds to the edges.
Yeah, I guess in the catch up. There is lots of pieces, but it doesn't seem like that pie.
I know. They have a lot to eat.
Yeah, it seems like one little baby size.
Okay, here we go to the next page. You guys all ready?
Yeah.
When Myrtle Murphy's parrot pecked up the last crumb, a hush fell upon Willoughby Street. The neighbors thanked Ma and Pa for sharing their wonderful pie. Suddenly, all they wanted to do was go home and snuggle in their cozy beds. Some made it, and others dozed off along the way. Ma Brindle shook her head in dismay. After all that sweetness, she said, no one will rest well tonight. Then she went inside to get her broom. So when I was reading this, I was just picturing people just falling asleep, maybe walking home or falling asleep right when they get into their bed.
You can see the dogs laying on one of them.
Yep,
The one right there.
they didn't make it home.
The one right there is on the ground. On the
They're really tired.
Apparently she didn't eat too much.
Okay, give me a thumbs up if you guys are ready to see what happened. Okay. That's when the dreaming began. What do you guys picture in your head when I read to you? That's when the dreaming began. Give me a thumbs up. Okay, Sean?
A whole bunch of people have bad dreams.
Bad dreams, you think?
Yeah,
Try to
like
think bad dreams.
A lot of people like waking up because they're having horrible dreams.
Oh, wow. How about you, Zay?
I woke up in my head that everybody was having a dream about Frank.
Oh. How about you? One more. Glenna, do you picture anything when I say that's when the dreaming began?
Yeah,
What do you picture?
that there's
Oh, maybe actually. Okay, we'll read about it and then we'll talk about it. Okay, give me a thumbs up if you're ready to know what happens next. Okay, we're ready. After I read it, you can see it. Pa Brindle's dream was the first to pop out. Bigger than a dump truck, it galloped through the neighborhood, whistling for the others to follow. Dreams of every shape, size, and color drifted up from their dreamers and began to sport and play. All of the dreamers on Willoughby Street tossed and turned in their restless sleep. So Glenna, you were kind of right. There's some monsters or weird figures that came out of these dreams.
That goes.
Yeah, maybe that goes.
The one with the suspenders and the funny hair.
flying
Yeah.
fish.
Yeah, there's all different kinds of dreams
It's a
from the
flying
Sweet Dream
fish,
Pod.
And I don't like that.
It's a real
Right.
fish.
Oh,
There's a gorilla.
Yeah, there's a big gorilla.
Hey,
Oh, wow. The dreams were very sweet.
Dragon.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next page. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to move to the next page. See what happens. What do you guys picture before we move on? What do you picture in your head about maybe what's going to happen next?
I picture
Shakira?
everybody wakes up.
Today you guys are listening to Shakira. She has a good picture in her head, I know it.
Everybody's gonna wake up scared.
Everyone's going to wake up scared? Why do you think that?
They just had that.
Maybe. We'll free to find out. Ma Brindle had never seen so many wild dreams. They were everywhere and into everything. The dreams were too happy and too exciting, doing things they shouldn't do. When enough was enough, Ma took up her broom and began to sweep, sweep, sweep until she had swept away almost every last dream from Willoughby Street. All of the dreamers, including Pa Brindle, sighed with relief and finally settled in for a good night's sleep.
Are you serious?
So we know that Pa woke up Shakira and thought about his dreams and then went back to sleep and had a good night's sleep. So here are some of his dreams. This is Ma with her broom. Some pretty scary dreams.
Yeah.
Yep, the gorilla.
The one with the suspenders is my favorite. It's so funny.
From her bedroom window, little Amy McPherson watched it all. And for once in her life, she was glad she could eat no pie. Because you remember Amy was sneezing? She usually loves pie, but because of these dreams, she was like, I'm happy I didn't have these crazy, silly dreams.
Then who's there right there? Good for her.
Yes.
Who was there?
Maybe that's a dream.
What level is that?
Maybe that's her own dream. You're right.
That's fun.
Okay, did you guys like this story, Sweet Dream Pie?
Yeah.
Do you think that you were going to read it again maybe later on? In another year or something like that? Or another 2 years? Okay, who can give me a thumbs up and tell me what were we doing when we were reading this book? Does anyone remember? Hallie? Yes, we were visualizing. And what is visualizing? Can you tell me a little something about it? You're picturing something in your head. And why would we want to picture something in our head when we're reading, do you think? Avi?
Because you could imagine something different.
Yeah, exactly. You can imagine something different.
Picture was a very good imagine something.
Yes, you can imagine something different than what is actually the picture in the book. So when you guys are reading a chapter book, for example, do you see any pictures in there? No. So when you're reading those words, you can create pictures in your own head by visualizing. And you won't think when you're reading, oh, I'm visualizing. A picture will just come into your head and help you remember what happens. Say, did you have something to say about visualizing? What, the pie? Yeah, you can have pies for Thanksgiving. Maybe. Okay, everybody give me a thumbs up if you're ready to move on to something else. Okay, how do you guys feel about these words? Do you think, did we cover all of them in the book? Give me a thumbs up if you think we did, or a thumbs down if I missed one.
No.
Lily, do you think I covered all of them, or no? You think so? Okay, who can tell me with their thumb up what the word glisten means and what it meant in the story? Tyler, do you remember? Yes, what does the word glisten mean? And do you remember what glistened in the story? I'll give you a hint, something that you ring usually. Do you want someone to help you out? Tayshawn, do you want to help out? Yes, it was a little bell and it glistened because the light was hitting it. Okay, how did our world whirled? Yeah, we saw that one. Avi, can you tell me about world?
It's like when you spin around.
And do you remember what whirled in the book?
The chocolate tornado.
Yes, the chocolate tornado. And the chocolate tornado whirled so hard that it knocked over the paper boy. Do you remember that picture?
And he looked like he was wearing on with his
Yes.
bag
Yes.
of paper.
Okay, our next word is ooze. Who remembers ooze? Glenna?
The pie.
Yes, the things in the pie ooze over the edge because there's just so much in it. And how about our word crimp? Jacob? This is a tough word. I know you remember it. What does crimped mean? Do you remember? Oh, you're reading it for ooze?
She didn't read the cream.
Oh, no, she told me it was overflowing. The pie was overflowing. Do you remember what crimped means, though? Or do you want a friend to help you out? Okay, Shakira, can you tell us?
Small boat.
Small folds. And what was being made into small folds in the book? Do you remember? What was being crimped? Ma was doing it. I'll give you a little hint. Do you want to help? Do you want a friend? Yes, the crust is being crimped. Remember, guys, if you have your thumbs up, I will call on you, but otherwise I want to hear from other people. And our last word is blissful. This one is their words. Haley, do you remember? Yes, and do you remember what was blissful in the book? When the pie was baking, do you remember why blissful? Yes, the smell was blissful. It was called a blissful aroma. And usually when a pie is baking, it smells super, super good, right? Yes. Okay, so today when we were reading this book, we were going over visualizing. And when you guys are reading, I want you to try to catch yourself and think, when I was reading this book, was I picturing something in my head about what the words were telling me? Because I guarantee if you guys picture what you're reading in your head, you're going to remember the story so much more because you're going to read a word or a passage or a sentence and be like, oh yeah, I was picturing this when I was reading. And it will help you throughout your school career if you know how to visualize and picture words in your head. So do you guys like sweet dream pie?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks really good. It makes me really hungry. Okay, so that is what I brought for you guys today. I hope you really enjoyed the book.
Yes.
You did? Okay, you can quietly go back to your seats now. Good job.
And Miss Pollock, was that an AR book?
That's 4. Yeah, 4. Yeah, that's 4.
It was a book. That's okay, because when a book is read to you, we can do it on a higher level. So I'm going to take it for just a second, if you don't mind, and just write the page number on the board, and then we can do this maybe this afternoon or something. We'll take turns if those of you that want to. All right, everybody, very quickly get out your AR folder, and we're going to write 32988.
I'm sure.
And then the title is Sweet
Oh my God.
Dream Pie.